Hello, we are Paper Magician, and this is our postmortem for our Capstone project. We will be discussing a little bit about our project and some of the things that went well, those things that didn't, and we'll be showing you the progression of our game's development and gameplay along the way. One of the things that really benefited us going into this project was our team. We've all worked together in class before, and we assembled a team with all the skills and strengths we would need to develop a full game. We have strengths in story, art, animation, coding, and mechanics to make a really well-rounded team. And we've learned so much from one another that we all feel a little more knowledgeable in all of those skills. Another benefit of us having met online and networking during previous classes means that we were able to operate professionally and respectfully to one another. It sounds cheesy, but most of the time we were like a well-oiled machine, chatting, checking in with one another almost constantly, whether it was about the project, our lives, school events, or new games we wanted to play.
One of our biggest issues with the capstone was uploading changes to Perforce and then finding them missing when the rest of the team would get latest. We'd have to spend hours recreating work we had already done. A huge piece of advice we would give to anyone going into this project is to make sure to save your work often in a place other than your workspace. This will give you a backup to reference when things go wrong. Also, take screenshots of complicated inspector settings to make sure everyone is always on the same page. Another thing that kept us moving and all on the same page was to keep our task list organized. Every week, we tried to add all the feedback from our playtesters so we could make sure to fix bugs along the way, and only after those tasks were assigned did we start to assign ourselves things that would make our game move forward. This ensured that we were always fixing the things that weren't quite working right.
One drawback to that strategy was that all we started to feel like we were doing was fixing bugs, mistakes, and things that had gone wrong. We were just putting out fires and weren't having any fun. We stuck it out and got through the rough patches, but we would recommend making sure that you have at least one thing each week that you're really passionate about and really want to work on. It might not be the most productive use of your time to make your pause menu look good instead of being functional, but you need to have something in your project you look forward to. You're going to be doing a lot of work on it and for a long time. The Paper Magician started out as a 2D platform puzzle game similar to Typo Man or Limbo, where the protagonist would use spellcasting with paper materials to craft magic spells in order to solve puzzles and defeat enemies. The original idea included a deeply involved story and a lot of elements of that story throughout the game. It was a lot bigger with more levels and things to do.
Throughout development, we cut down the game and removed a lot of the story elements. The Paper Magician ended up turning into more of an action puzzle game rather than a slow-paced puzzle solver. Other than this change, we've tried to stay true to the original idea. Our protagonist Val still uses paper materials and spellcasting for puzzles and enemies. We've also included as much story as we could into the action-styled gameplay by having voice-over dialogue placed in strategic points during the game. The things we're most proud of from this project are the skills and lessons we've learned along the way, both individually and as a group. As for the project itself, it's hard to just pick one thing we're most proud of. We put a lot of work into the project, and at the end of the day, we made a video game over a 5-month process, which is really exciting. However, if we had to pick a few key features we're proudest of, we would say our different spell mechanics, environmental aesthetics, and our enemies. We hope you enjoyed this video and a sneak peek into our game as it progressed along its development cycle.